15 wickets fell on an eventful first day at Chelmsford.
After a disappointing T20 Blast campaign, it was a welcome return to the Specsavers County Championship for Division 1 leaders Essex, who hosted Somerset. The hosts won the toss and elected to bat, and got off to a positive start as both Chopra and Brown picked up boundaries. Somerset bowled well though, and it wasn't long before Van Meekeren got the early breakthrough, Chopra out for 9. 2 overs later, Van Meekeren struck again, sending new batsman Lawrence back to the pavilion for a duck, Hildreth taking the catch. That brought Bopara to the crease, but he only managed 1 run before he was trapped in front by Overton. Essex were under pressure and needed a partnership, but Somerset continued to bowl aggressively, and Grunewald soon had his first wicket, Wheater gone for 3. The hosts were in trouble as Tendashkata came to the crease, but the Essex skipper managed to steady the ship along with Brown. Somerset continued to bowl well, but failed to pick up any more wickets as the Essex pair batted through until lunch to score 89 for 4 at the interval.
Re-energised after the break, Overton sent Tendashkata packing for 35 in the first over of the afternoon session. And with his very next ball an over later, Van Meekeren took a catch to send Brown on his way for 44. With 2 new batsmen at the crease, Essex were in trouble once again, and it didn't take long for Grunewald to pick up his second wicket, Foster gone for 4. Walter and Harmer managed to tick the score along, but the Somerset attack was relentless, and Harmer became Van Meekeren's second victim, out for 12. 2 overs later, Van Meekeren struck again to convincingly send Walter on his way, and the end was near for Essex. Porter and Amir managed to put on 19 runs for the last wicket before Overton wrapped things up. Essex all out for 159. A poor first innings for the hosts, but a fantastic bowling performance by Somerset. Overton and Van Meekeren the pick of the bowlers, finishing with 4 wickets each. With time still left until tea, Somerset began their reply and got off to a terrible start as Trescothick feathered one behind off Porter, out for 2. That brought Rouse to the crease, who struggled through until tea with Byram. Somerset 9 for 1 at the break. Immediately after the interval, Bopara found the edge to dismiss Rouse for 4, Harmer taking the catch. Soon after that, he was joined back in the pavilion by Byram, after he was bowled by Porter for 5. Somerset were in trouble and needed both new batsmen Hildreth and Abel to consolidate things. The pair batted sensibly and got their side out of trouble, taking the score well past 50. Both batsmen looked comfortable, and Somerset were in control before Porter finally broke the 78-run partnership. Abel caught by Chopra for 30. 2 overs later, Porter had his 4th wicket as he sent Hildreth on his way for 51, and the hosts were suddenly back on top. New batsmen Leach and Davis steadied the ship though, batting sensibly through until stumps, taking the score to 118 for 5 to wrap up an eventful first day at Chelmsford. A good day for the bowlers then, with Overton, Van Meekeren and Porter all taking 4 wickets each. Davis and Leach will return to the middle on day 2, with their side trailing by just 41 runs with 5 wickets remaining.
Rain frustrates at Chelmsford as Wheater leads the way for Essex going into day 4. Day 2 at Chelmsford belonged to the hosts. Somerset were bowled out for 164 thanks to some brilliant bowling from Amir and Harmer. Despite the loss of Chopra, Lawrence and Bopara at the start of the Essex second innings, Brown and Wheater fought hard, putting on an unbeaten 78-run partnership to take their side to 117 for 3 at stumps. It was a delayed start at Chelmsford on day 3 due to rain, but the players eventually took to the field with Essex leading by 112 runs. Brown and Wheater picked up where they'd left off, slowly accumulating runs. Wheater eventually reached his half-century and Essex were in control. It took a special delivery from Grunewald to eventually bring the 118-run partnership to an end, Brown out for 83. Shortly after, the rain arrived and an early lunch was taken with Essex 158 for 4. The rain persisted all afternoon and play was eventually called off for the day without the players returning to the field. Wheater on 58 not out will resume with skipper Tendishkata on the final day, with Essex leading by 153 runs. Jamie Porter bowls Essex a step closer to the title with victory over Somerset. There was only an hour of play on day 3 at Chelmsford due to rain, but a positive result was still on the cards on the final day, with Essex 153 runs ahead. Wheater, unbeaten on 58, returned to the middle with Tendishkata, and the pair looked to press on. Somerset were threatening though, and Overton especially caused trouble for both batsmen. The pair battled on and brought up their 50 partnership and extended Essex's lead past 200. Somerset needed a breakthrough, and after taking the second new ball, Overton was finally rewarded with his 7th wicket of the match, dismissing Wheater for 88, his highest score of the season. Tendishkata was joined at the crease by Foster, and the Essex skipper soon brought up his half-century and pushed on from there. Foster reached 22 before he was pinned in front by Grunewald, and 3 balls later Tendishkata was removed by Leach for 67 on the stroke of lunch, Trescothick taking the catch. A good effort from the visitors, but it was Essex's morning. They led by 279 runs going into the break. With 67 overs left in the day, Tendishkata wanted a bigger lead before declaring, and Walter and Harmer continued after the interval. Bess came into the attack and took a wicket immediately, dismissing fellow spinner Harmer LBW. Bess struck again in his next over to send Porter packing, and with Amir injured and unable to bat, Essex finished on 293 for 9. With a minimum of 59 overs remaining in the day, Essex needed 10 wickets, and it only took 2 balls for Porter to make the huge early breakthrough. Trescothick bowled for a duck. Essex may have been without Amir, but Porter was on fire, and he soon had his second wicket. Rouse caught behind for 9. Somerset were under pressure, and whilst Byram and Hildreth managed to tick the score along, Porter was unstoppable and claimed his third victim, nicking off Byram for 10. Essex were rampant, and as Harmer dismissed new batsman Abel for a duck, Somerset were in real trouble when Davis joined Hildreth at the crease. Somerset desperately needed a partnership, but things went from bad to worse for the visitors when Porter nicked off Hildreth for 22. Davis was joined by Overton, and the pair managed to steady the ship. For Overton, the best form of defence was attack, and he raced the score along and batted through until tea with Davis, the score 77 for 5 at the break. The visitors still trailed by 211 runs as the evening session got underway, and Essex needed 5 wickets to win. And 4 balls later, they needed just 4 more. Davis edged behind to give Porter his 5th wicket and his 10th of the match. Just 1 run later, Essex were closing in on victory. Somerset off-spinner Bess padded up to his opposite number Harmer and was LBW for 0, 82 for 7. And the visitors were still 1 run short of 3 figures when they lost their 8th wicket, the rampant Porter striking again to bowl Leach for 8. Somerset had no answer to the young seamer, who bowled Grunewald for just a single for his 7th wicket of the innings. Porter deserved to finish the job, but instead Harmer bowled Overton for 36, to leave Somerset all out for just 109, Essex winners by 179 runs. A real capitulation from the visitors, bowled out in 37.5 overs, with only 4 batsmen reaching double figures. The undoubted man of the match, Porter, with 7 for 55 and 12 wickets in the match. Essex's 5th straight win and their 7th of the season moves them 36 points clear of Lancashire at the top of the table. And first meets second at Old Trafford next week in a potential title decider. Somerset visit Warwickshire, the only team below them in the table.